If you're wondering where I am, if you look in your caravan, in the caravan door, I'm there. Hello.
And if you're
gone, Kate.
And if you're wondering where I am in the speedboat.
You like me speedboats, don't you, Kate?
I do love speedboats. It will give me the opportunity to be a pirate, which I'm completely for.
Anyway, welcome to a special edition of Benny Shakes Things Up.
Yay.
As you can see, it's World Cerebral Palsy Day. So happy birthday, us!
Yay! Happy birthday!
There we are.
Hello!
Hello!
Hi, Internet!
Oh, we've got 3 people already. So,
Hello.
yeah. So, today we're all about Cerebral Palsy Day. And if you haven't guessed already, we've got cerebral palsy. We normally say superpowers, but on this occasion, cerebral palsy. With me, I've got spasticity cerebral palsy, where I can't control my limbs properly or my speech. What about you, Kate?
I also have spasticity.
Oh.
I am a left-sided hemiplegia. Spastic left-sided hemiplegia is the official full line, which in my case is cerebral palsy. To be very clear, not everyone with hemiplegia has cerebral palsy. So I'm like a particular, because if it comes later in life, it's a very specific way of having hemiplegia, means you have cerebral palsy.
So basically, you just wanted a longer name than me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm all about that. It is genuinely like the kind of person going, "Would you like a coffee?" and me saying, "Yes, I'll have a grande decaf non-fat latte." It's my way of making myself sound more interesting than I actually am.
Cool. I'm easy. I just go with spast. I can't even say the name. Why give us a name that half of us can't say it?
Exactly.
I suppose that's why they changed it to cerebral palsy.
From what was it before?
I think it was spasticity, the whole.
Oh my God, it was the whole thing.
I think so. I'm not sure. We're not really professional tonight.
No, the cerebral, the palsy also is sometimes a bit strange, because it's like palsy means like paralyzed or with involuntary movements, and that is not true for every person who has cerebral palsy. So it's just...
There are 2 others, but again, I can't pronounce them either.
I'll give it a go. I know the last one is ataxic cerebral palsy,
right.
And I think the middle one is athetoid cerebral palsy.
Fair dues.
I'll go with athetoid. If that is wrong, by the way, we do have comments. So
yeah,
but spell it like phonetically how you would say it, because otherwise we're a bit lost.
Oh, I'm not in the comments. Oh, no one's commenting yet.
No one's commented yet, Benny. We're good.
It's just me and you. Just forget it.
You and me against, well, not against anybody. Speaking to the world. We're not against anyone.
Yeah, against the world.
So,
if we were superheroes, would our van have to be called the Spasticity autisticity superheroes.
I like that. I like that. Yes, it's trying to make yourself superheroes. Also, yeah, I find that superhero bands also don't groups of superheroes like the Avengers or the X-Men. They don't really say what they do. I mean, the Avengers is clearer than anyone because they're avenge. But it's like, yeah, it's like the Justice League. How are you patrolling this justice?
Well, we haven't got a shortage of people because every year 1 in 400 babies who are born in the UK have cerebral palsy. So we could have several in Scotland, some in Wales, and why not?
1 in 400. Come on down, join the band.
Sorry, what was you going to say?
No, I said come on down, join the band of the band of superheroes. I mean, obviously, it's that thing of it's good to know that we've got an event like this that really talks about cerebral palsy and raises awareness of it, because I think it's kind of I think sometimes people get a little bit panicky when you say cerebral palsy.
Yes.
And I think sometimes and I think people need to, the fact that Donald Trump today said don't worry about COVID, I think you should worry less about cerebral palsy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because my reckoning of cerebral palsy is, for me anyway, was lack of oxygen as I came out of my mum's belly. What was it for you, Kate? Yes, I know.
I don't know, and I've never bothered to find out. That is how lazy I am. I've just gone. They've gone. You've got cerebral palsy. I'm like, okay. Okay. Never bothered to find out. I don't think it was really offered to my mum to find out. And so once it's not really offered to the parent to find out, by the time you're 5 or 6 and register it, it's a bit late to sort of sometimes go back.
Yeah.
Say, by the way, I'd like to know.
Yeah. My mum told me I stopped breathing, and that's all we know. So.
Oh, it's that's the thing. It's like I was just, in a way, I'm quite glad I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit like, oh, this could happen, or this could be the reason, or this could be the reason.
Yeah.
It slightly throws everything up when you know some statistics about how cerebral palsy happens. Like twins, apparently it's very prevalent in twins.
Yes, I am a twin.
I was going to say, I think you're a twin, aren't you?
Yes, my sister's not cerebral palsy. I reckon I was hogging all the food in the womb, and she gave me a nudge, and that's my fault for being a greedy pig. So, but we will never know.
No, don't know. And twins run in my family, but I'm not a twin. So I don't know whether that, whether something happened to my twin. I could have had a twin and something happened to them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd be fascinated. Part of me wants to find out, but part of me is like, no, I'm actually just really good, just not knowing.
Yeah, true. So what was it like at school? Did you go to a mainstream or a special school?
I went to a mainstream school. Hello. Oh.
Elizabeth Black.
Hello, Elizabeth.
What does she say? I'm working on a project to support support young people into, is that care?
Careers.
Careers. What is it like for someone with CP? Oh, we've got our first question.
What's it like for someone with CP to get careers advice? Oh, I mean, I was just depends, because at school my careers advice was awful.
Yeah.
My careers advice was hilarious. I was doing GCSEs and my careers advisor just said, "What do you want to do?" I was like, "I want to be an actor," and she just went, "Go off and be an actor then," which was hilarious.
Really?
It's like, yeah, she's like, "Go off and be an actor," because I think she had probably in her head been told, "Don't discourage people from following their dreams," but there was very much sort of, yeah, could you like finish GCSEs, that kind of thing. I think sometimes people are like very unrealistic. Some people are like, no, you can't do this and you can't do that. But I don't think no one ever told me I couldn't. I think I was just really helpfully not into the things that I didn't want to do. But things that I couldn't do. I think it's that thing of I would kind of naturally gravitate towards the things I was quote unquote good at. So, but what is it like? What about you?
I mean, I wanted to support disabled children when I was a teenager, which I did for many years. But my careers advisor, when I told her, she went, "What about a zookeeper?" And I'm like, what?
At least it's still a solid career. It was a solid career, and it wasn't. You know, I know some people who've been had. Can you have a career? It's like, yes, I can have a career. So, you know, I know some people who haven't had good careers advice and been surprised that anybody wants to do anything.
But now I work only 1 day a week paid, but it's a job and I will take it. 1 day a week at a farm planting trees and maintaining the trees, but they gave me adaptions, so I don't walk, I drive the tractor, and to dig the trees in, I'm on my knees all the time, which is fine. I'm always on my knees anyway, so it's fine. So, but careers for young people with disabled, you've just got to get out there and apply for as many jobs as you can, I suppose.
Jobs that you can, jobs that. I mean, I think the world of work is becoming more inclusive.
Yeah.
You are less likely nowadays, more than ever, to come up against someone who doesn't want to hire a disabled person.
Well, saying that,
less likely. I didn't say it wasn't.
All right, okay.
To point that one out, but unfortunately, it is. I think it is less. It's less likely that people would see it as a barrier, particularly now we're all working from home. Now a majority of office jobs and things are working from home. It's like interesting and access and that kind of thing. But yeah.
Just, I think we're like everyone. We're all in the same boat now. Everyone's been furloughed or redundant, so you're just going to be like any other bloke or woman out there. There's only so many jobs and there's too many human beings. So, but yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So you were saying about you went to mainstream school then?
I did go to mainstream school, and I had amazing provision. I don't know. If I went to school today, if I was young enough that I would go, I wouldn't go back to school now. But if I had to go to school, if I was a child today, I wouldn't get the provision that I got back in the day. I got amazing amounts of learning support assistant time, all this kind of thing. I got so much learning support that in terms of my disability, I couldn't fault my schooling at all.
No.
Sorry, carry on.
I can't. I mean, I had one-to-one support. I don't know about you, but
I had pretty much one-to-one support, but we worked. But the thing is, we had one LSA back in the day, one learning support assistant, and it was really good because the subjects I was kind of better at were like your more academic subjects. So, and I was in mixed sets most of the time. So, for when I didn't need the support, they would go and help the kids with dyslexia and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And obviously, the things that the kids with dyslexia could do, which were the more physical things, I needed help with. So because we were all in this one big class together, it was just really easy to kind of cross over. And it's like, you know, it was a really good balance, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I bet the kids with dyslexia hated me then at school because I needed my support worker more than I needed her all the time because I had trouble reading. But I can't fault them. But like you said, if we went back to school now, we would, well, I know I would be shoved into extra curriculum things like where I work at the farm or woodwork or things like that because they wouldn't have the funding what they had back in the day.
No, I wouldn't have the half of the support I got. Yeah, I don't know what I would do today. I probably would struggle a damn sight more than I did. And I struggled enough. For me, it was, things like I needed help getting changed in PE. I couldn't dress myself correctly in the school uniform. I should point that one out. In the school uniform, so the tie and all that kind of. I couldn't dress myself properly until I was until the entire of my school years, because I couldn't dress myself after PE and things like that because of the speed that they make you do it.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So
I came out of the PE room more wetter than I went in the shower because it's like, and with my hands, it's like, oh, I hated PE.
I hated PE. I quit PE. They let me quit PE in my GCSE year. They shouldn't have told you this, but because I got in a fight with one of the teachers, like not like a fisticuff, although we covered I could take her. But like she was like, I was refusing to. We wore black school trousers.
Yeah.
For a thing, and I would just wear them for my PE lessons. Bearing in mind my PE at the time was trampolining. So it wasn't like I was running around getting very, very sweaty because I was bouncing around for like 2 minutes and then off and then 2 minutes and then off. And I refused to, I would change my top, but I wouldn't change my trousers because they were quite stretchy and I could manage. And the teacher was like, you have to buy jogging bottoms. You have to buy jogging bottoms. And I refused. And we got into such a kind of like, no, yes, no, that I said, is there any way I can stop doing PE because I am not buying jogging bottoms just for this?
I mean, I got out of PE, but my support worker fought for this, and my mum instead of PE and instead of woodwork and history, I think I had 2 sessions of swimming, just me and her, and it was the best
Swimming?
time of my school.
Did you have a swimming pool?
No. She used to take me from Northwood School to East Coast swimming baths in London. So
I was going to say, you had a swimming pool at your school. How posh are you?
No, it was Northwood School. No.
Okay, that's fine.
My school has been knocked down and rebuilt.
Oh no! My school is no longer my school. My school is because I'm from Bedfordshire. Right. It's but we were on the 3-tier system for ages, which is the same roughly as you get in America. So we had a lower, a middle, and an upper. And now all my schools are now either turned into secondary and primary schools, and it's all a bit strange that it's like no longer the 3-tier system, because parents around my way really fought to keep the 3-tier system, even though it's completely doesn't work for because you would have you'd have your year 6 SATs in the middle of middle school, and you'd have your year 9 SATs in your first year of your upper school, and it didn't work at all. But they're all like, oh, but we like it because it means that the 11-year-olds aren't in the same school as the 18-year-olds. But it was all it's all a bit weird.
Yeah, I mean, we never had lifts. Hi mate, I'm okay, thanks. So yeah, we never had lifts. You know, sorry to go on about school, but I think this is funny now, but it weren't at the time. You know, when you went up to big school, and you're going round all the schools, and out of all 3 schools, only 1 school wanted us.
Oh no!
Or wanted me and my sister. So, which is fine. Northwood School was a good school, but
we had 2 schools, one in one town, one in the other, and I didn't actually get a say which one I went to because my sister's older than me. So you're going where your sister went. But the embarrassing thing for her, not embarrassing, but it was the thing of they would interview, as you say, for the schools, and my parents would just have to go, just to let you know, her sister's going to be coming to this school next year. She has cerebral palsy. What are you going to do about it? Which is kind of unfair on her. I admit it's kind of unfair to be like, what they're going to do about it. But it's but in fairness, that meant they had a year's run up. They had a year's run up to get everything right. And they did put in a lift while I was there. And was I allowed to use it? No.
Why?
Because it only got finished by the time I was in year 10. At end of year 10, beginning of the 11, and by the end of year 10, I'd proved I could do the stairs. So they were like, "You're not allowed."
Yeah,
which was just a bit like, what? They're like, it wasn't put in specifically for me, but because obviously they have me, they start, because this is the thing, when you have a disabled student or a disabled work colleague or something, you start thinking about access in ways you didn't think about before.
Yes, was you the inspiration in every year for year 7s? Benjamin Elliott is a inspiration. It's like, for God's sake.
Oh, I had when I went up to hello Kieran. When I went up to middle school, when I went up to the middle school, right, the year of the term before the middle school came, right, I went up to middle school, so I was in my lower school. They had an assembly, and they said they showed it like my picture. This is what my sister said because she was there. They showed my picture and went, "This girl has cerebral palsy. Do not bully."
Yeah, I got that.
I mean, it was brilliant. I wasn't bullied, but it was hilarious that they were like, "If you bully this girl, you will be." I was like, I was just like, when you look at that, that's awful because it's like saying I was off limits, but everyone else was fair game.
Yes.
Which you shouldn't bully people.
The best thing was football. I was allowed to dribble the football. No one was allowed to touch me. For 3 years, no one could touch me. Oh, that's why. So, which I think I see why they did it, but then I don't, because I would rather got tackled and then picked than shake myself off, because maybe I would have been a better football player. I don't know.
No, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we were all like I went to netball club, and we were told that everyone who went to netball club on the first day, everyone who went to netball club would get to play on the school netball team. Then they suddenly realised I was there. They suddenly realised I was there. I never got picked for the netball team.
What?
Like, so because I was crap. I'm really bad at netball. Like, seriously, I don't. You tell me what the rules of netball are now, and I'm like, I'm gone. I have no idea. But it's that thing. People like, everyone who turns up to netball club will get on the netball team. I'm like, yeah, you should have like cleared that. Like, you should have checked who was in the room.
Yeah.
And they were like having to backpedal and all this kind of stuff, and I was like, it's fine. Just don't say things if you then don't need them. And I think that's different to you, where you were saying that they weren't allowed to tackle you. They treated me completely like you're not good enough to be on the netball team. And in fairness, I wasn't. And it probably was about 50% to do with the fact that I was disabled, 50% to do with the fact that I was rubbish.
Well, can I tell you something?
Go on.
It didn't miss much. I did basketball. I must have got whacked on the head quite a few times. Now I'm scared of ball games. So you weren't missing much on it.
No, I developed a disdain for sport very quickly. I never liked sport. I wasn't a sporty type. I was a drama-y, theatre-y, dancey type. And I still did all of that. So that was fine. But it was like, I'm not a sporty person. And I sort of realised very quickly that I wasn't. So I don't feel like I've missed out on anything. And I know the thing is, people tell you, have you ever considered Paralympic sport? And I'm like,
I'm laughing.
No. And I'm just like, no. Do you know why? Because I'd be rubbish at it. And it's not because it's not because of a disability that I would be rubbish at sport. It's because I'm rubbish at sport.
Yeah, I got asked that when...
Sorry, you've got a Sports Direct mug.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing I can have a proper cup of tea in.
Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, I got asked in my 30s, actually, why don't you go and do swimming and get good and go to the Paralympics?
How old are you, Benny?
Oh,
I was going to say, because you said in your 30s, I'm going, that is too old, mate. That is too old.
37.
That's too old for the swimming.
Yeah.
No, because if you know, like Ellie Johnson and Ellie Simmons, they started when they were like 13. So you're screwed, mate.
Yeah, thank God for that.
Sorry to burst
Fine.
any illusions, but
Fine.
you are too old for swimming. Might be different for different. I'd say different for different sports, but I think there is like, but you can still enjoy it.
Did you ever learn how to do boccia?
I played boccia.
Did you? Was you
I
good?
played boccia once, and I was rubbish. Then again, I do have to say I was playing against people who were on the Paralympic squad.
Oh, right.
Because I did at the launch of the Paralympics GB cycling team for Rio 2016. Yeah, I get around. They had a boccia demonstration out back. So I went and played boccia and realised I was awful.
Yes.
That, like, it appears on like Kate's trying boccia. I was like, Kate is trying boccia. Kate is failing at boccia. Boccia is much harder than people think. People think boccia's just trying. There is so much skill in boccia, and I put my hand. I put my hand up and say I think boccia players are brilliant.
Yes.
So, big up the boccia players.
I thought I was good until my last job. I was in network going around different disabled groups talking about direct payments. So I thought I'll go play boccia. I might make some friends. Mind you, I was the oldest person there. The youngest was 7. And even he beat me. So I'm like, no, I'm no good at this.
It's the thing, because Paralympic sport is now such a movement. We are the old people.
I know.
Like, we're too old for everything. Like before, like I think prior to like 2012, 2008, that kind of time, you would still be considered to maybe go off and do some Paralympic sport, and maybe they'll test you. If you go to a Paralympic testing day these days, they're all like, no, you're too old. Go away. We want the young generation. And that's the great thing, that the games have inspired young people. But it does mean that if you're older, it's like you can do the old people games.
Yes.
If you're anything over 25, it's like, no.
Yeah, it's just hard nowadays to find a group. Like when I was growing up, I don't know if you know it. Can you remember Fab Club?
I didn't know Fab Club.
Fab Club was a club down London near me where all the disabled people from our area used to mingle and chat, and we would go on holiday once a year to Wales. We would go on day trips, but nowadays there's not a group like that around where you could go and mingle with people like you. I don't like that word, but you know what I mean.
It's the difference, but it's the thing, isn't it? Because every club and everywhere is so determined to be integrated, and that's amazing, and you can't fault that in any way, shape, or form. You do sort of go, sometimes it then leads to you feeling slightly tokenistic or slightly outside.
Yeah.
Because everyone is so welcome. I do say these days, I think most people are very, very welcoming of people with disabilities and kids with disabilities. I think it's amazingly good, and we are becoming more and more visible in society.
Yeah.
The problem with that is it becomes sort of a thing of going, I've never met anyone else like me.
Yes.
which is just a bit. It's just a little bit more. I mean, and that's why I think like things like actually that's the argument for on-screen representation in the media is you need that representation to know that other people are like you.
Yeah.
Because if there aren't clubs and things like that available for people to mix, and events, I mean, I know a lot of charities do events. So that is one slightly different thing. So I know Scope do some events. I know various different charities for various different conditions do events where you would meet people they like you, but that also involves the parents going to the charity, which some parents just do not want to do.
No, but when you're an adult who's been brought up in mainstream school, probably hasn't seen another disabled person, so thinks, well, I'm just like everyone else. It's hard. I mean, I was lucky. My English teacher said, why don't you go to this group? And I've never looked back since. Well, I have because I've left the group. But hey ho. So yeah. So should we show people other cerebral palsy comedians?
Yes, this is list. By the way, we discussed this before we went on. This list is not exhaustive. There's not everyone on there.
No.
So if you're from America, which you might be, this is the internet. Who knows? You could also check out Josh Blue, who was the winner, I think, of the 4th series of Last Comic Standing. I think he was the winner. Yeah, I think he's great. And there are many other ones. Also, Francesca Martinez.
Yes.
Is one that we suddenly realised when we were just about to go live. We're like, oh yeah, her.
I used to watch her in Grange Hill.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the thing that everyone says. It's goes Cerebral to go, oh, Thingy from Grange Hill. And you go, yes, Thingy from Grange Hill. And she also has a great book, which if anybody wants to read it, is called What the Is Normal.
Oh, really?
There's a swear word in the title, which I love because I'm a child.
But yeah, find that.
Yeah, I'll lend you it. It's a good book. It's really kind of interesting because it's sort of a memoir, but it's kind of really, really good. So we have Lost Voice Guy, who won Britain's Got Talent. If you don't know who that is.
Who?
Yeah, if people don't know who Lost Voice Guy is.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I'm going. This is who I'm reading. I'm reading the words on the screen. We got. That's all right. Rosie Jones, who, if you don't know who Rosie Jones is, then again, you should know who Rosie Jones is. You probably do because you probably haven't. She's been on a number of panel shows and things, and actually just this last week, just gone. I think she was on the Jonathan Ross Comedy Club.
Yes, ITV. You can watch it on Catch Up.
Watch it on Catch Up.
Yeah.
Lawrence Clark, who is
great. From the north.
He is. He's from. I think he was. I want to say Liverpool. I
tell you what, if you like a laugh, he does a thing on YouTube, and I'm going to tell you a bit of it.
It's so good.
Goes into a
town centre.
Town centre. And he goes, I wonder if I can get any money from rats in a bucket. Mind you, on the bucket it says, I am not a charity and I'm not homeless, please do not give me money.
And
So it's there, and people can read it, and they're giving him money all the time.
And he's genuinely saying, please do not give me money. I am not a charity. I will get in trouble if you give me money. So it's brilliant. And we have yes, seriously, after this, go and look at Lawrence Clark stuff because it's great. And we've got Jack Carroll again, very young when he was on Britain's Got Talent.
14 years old.
No, that just made everybody feel really inadequate. But primarily because I think he was like the first comedian of any comedian to actually go any sort of distance in the competition because it was good. And before then, comedians on Britain's Got Talent, they were not good.
Yeah.
or at least they didn't have material that worked within the format of the show.
Yes.
I will grant you might not be bad.
No.
But for some reason, comedians were just not working on Britain's Got Talent until Jack turned up.
Yeah.
And then we got Graham Whistler.
Graham Whistler, who we've got on the 16th of October. So if you're around, check him out. I met him a year ago last May at Derby Ram Festival. Alex is going to tell me off because I've got it the wrong way around. I don't know. But
we don't get names, and I mean it's very good that we've got properly written down names on this thing because we don't get names and things correct at all on this podcast. It should almost be called Benny Shakes Things Up because they're not factually accurate.
Yes. Well, we have got cerebral palsy.
We have
a brain condition. So.
Yes, it is in the brain. Actually, I think that's one of Francesca. I think it's Francesca's best, or one of her jokes that I really remember is someone saying it's all in your head. She goes,
right,
Of course it's all in my head, sir. I've got cerebral palsy. I'm sorry, Francesca, for butchering your joke or pilfering it, but I did say it was your joke. So, by the way, if this was actually your joke, please do let me know because I've forgotten whose joke is whose. I sort of go, whose joke is whose? This is the thing. What happens when you do too much comedy? You go, I can't remember it. Whose joke is that? It's somebody's, I'm sure.
I can't remember jokes properly. That's why I've got a blue book which I take on stage, and I put it at my feet, and it's got silly words to remind me of jokes. So do you get that, or are you good at remembering?
I mean, I butcher every single joke I do because I can't remember them, but I don't go on stage with a book.
Right.
Except for one time I was doing a Halloween show and I was doing it as a zombie. Don't ask. It was great. I had a little book and I got my book out and I said, I've got a little book of all my problems. And I wrote it down and said, this is a book of all my problems. And one day it's a tiny book, so I can slip it into Jay-Z's pocket at some point and he can have all my problems too. Jay-Z having the song, I've got 99 problems. It's like, he can have... I should explain that one. By the way, I had to look up which rapper it was. It was very embarrassing. I was like, which rapper did that song? Jay-Z.
Well, before we go, I just want to tell everyone about these two ladies.
Yes, these two.
The first one is Hannah Shellmedine. Now, she's a wheelchair user. I went to college with her, Portland College. Since we've left, she has found poems. She writes poems. She draws. She's the poster girl for sailability. Sailability, just so everyone knows, any disabled person can do it. If you're going, I'm not going on a boat, no way, it might capsize. These do not capsize. Trust me, Benny Shakes has tried. They do not capsize.
You've tried to capsize a boat.
Yes. Well, not by purpose, by accident.
Good to know.
And all it does, it tips you 90 degrees. You just get wet, that's all. But you're still in the boat. So Hannah is in a wheelchair. She's partially blind, or is it sighted? She does sailability. She does racing, blind racing in fast cars around a track. She's also gone up in a glider and glided down. So, yes, she has got some balls, oh, Hannah. So, if you want to check her out, her Facebook page is there. She's on YouTube as well, little videos. And the second one is, what is it?
I want to say Cheatham's with Dreams.
That's it. It is two sisters, Hannah, another Hannah.
Many Hannahs. There are many
Hannahs. Many super woman Hannahs on this show. She's again got cerebral palsy. She communicates with a, what's the word? A machine. What are they called?
A speech thing. I can't remember.
I do apologise, Hannah.
Sorry.
Send me an email later. But over lockdown, they have been, well, they've blown up on TikTok with their funny little dancing. Well, they've cheered me up big time. We were going to have them on the show, but both Hannahs were busy. So, but I thought we had to drop their names in. But I wanted to especially say to Hannah, I was sorry to hear what happened to you guys at Alton Towers. They've been going for years and they've had no trouble getting on all the rides. But they went on the Smiler and the lady was rude and said, no, you're not coming on. So they thought that was fine. Anyway, go to their YouTube page and you will see the full story. I don't want to muck it up with my brain, but please go and support them and give them loads of love. And I think I'm talked out. So,
You talked out. Should we end it?
Yeah.
I don't know why I said it like that. Should we end it? I've got all cockney. Should we end it?
Is there something you want to say?
Is there anything I want to say? I don't know. Is it appropriate to say Happy World Cerebral Palsy Day?
Yes.
I'm not sure because I wasn't. I was like, it's awareness. Happy, be happy, but
Be happy. It's Cerebral Palsy Day for a couple more hours.
Couple more hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
If you have any questions, do ask them. Not right now, obviously, but send if you have questions and things like that, and we might ask them in a future podcast. You never know.
I mean, when Graham Whistler is on, please ask him. He's got a lot to say, Al Graham. So, yeah, which will be good to see him. So, yeah, anyway, goodbye from Benny and Kate. Shakes it up.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye.